Hello. This message is going to be for the Starseed Lightworker Collective, and it really wanted to come through today. I did not have any intentions of being on camera. The next time I was going to be coming on to see you guys, I was going to be setting up a new system. Did not have the energy to do that today, but this message just really wanted to come through. I'm personally feeling pretty emotional today, very tapped in to the collective, very tuned into the emotions of others and myself. And because of that, sensitive, and typically I won't record or, share on a day like that where I feel it's important to come inward and be with myself. I also woke up with extreme pain in my jaw, which is very unusual for me. It's actually so I can't even eat. My left jaw just woke up with it. Didn't grind my teeth because my teeth aren't hurting. So anyways, I'm sharing all these things with you just in case some of you are going through similar symptoms or similar pains. The divine feminines are deeply affected by the divine masculine collective, regardless of the acceptance, consciousness, or acknowledgement of that. When the divine masculines are in resistance and going through pain, or maybe it's not even physical pain, but emotional pain, oftentimes it manifests as the feminines feeling physical pain, quite literally. And I was told as soon as I woke up that my jaw pain was because my masculine was refusing to speak. And I'm not sure what that means exactly, right? That was just exactly the words that I heard. And so here I am having to drink my meals with pain. So many of you might be feeling this. You might be feeling this physical pain right now. Perhaps if you're a divine masculine, you're feeling emotional pain right now. But it definitely feels like we are in this point where the denial or the not accepting that we affect one another is just not an excuse any longer. The ignorance is bliss is just not an excuse any longer. And while I kind of started talking about Twin Flame Journey, this message is really a collective message for lightworkers, for starseeds, for those of you that have been on a spiritual journey and path on this planet for some time, prior to 2020, prior to the Great Conjunction, when a lot of souls awoke, right? That happened in December 2020, I believe. And so up until that point, those of you that were already working your healing, already on a spiritual path, already choosing to radically heal your family lines, your trauma, transmute, transcend, whether you were activated by a twin or not. Some of you I'm speaking to probably were. Some of you maybe were not. This is a gratitude message for you. This is a thank you from the highest place, from the angels, from the guides, from the six-dimensional beings that recognize and honor you for your commitment, for your sacrifice. You are the thankless. What I mean by that is the work that you're doing is what has paved the way for so many to awaken, for so many generational curses to be eradicated, for so much of this healing to have occurred on this planet. But you are the unseen warrior. You are often not acknowledged, not thanked. Others oftentimes completely skip over you, or they don't see the work you're doing, or they think it's woo-woo, it's bullshit. They don't understand why you don't have more money, why you're not married, why you don't have all of these 3D successful things. And you're overlooked, but you're not overlooked by your guides. You are not overlooked by the benevolent beings in the other realms. And this message wanted to come through so strongly so that you could feel and know that so much of what is occurring and what is changing right now on this planet is because of your sacrifice. It's because of the work that you've done in the unseen that many don't acknowledge and many don't see. Every time you chose yourself, every time you took a risk and you decided to trust and have faith over the knowing, over the head. I'm sorry I'm getting emotional. I mean, I'm not sorry, but this is why I didn't want to do a video today. But this emotion, this feeling is running through me because the guides are giving you a standing ovation. And you're not acknowledged. You're not seen. And that's been by design. That's been a form of protection. That will change. And your patience has been recognized. Your diligence, your commitment to this work has been recognized, and you will be honored. Everything that we're seeing in the collective right now, the shifts, the changes, you have been laying this groundwork from the time you got to this planet as a starseed, as a light worker. You've rocked the boat and you have been fearless in your pursuit of truth, fearless in your pursuit of the divine, even when you were ridiculed, even when you were made fun of, even when it looked irrational, erratic, and wrong to others. If you didn't pursue the material world things, and it doesn't look like you have the material world success or the things that are expected of you by societal standards. But every time you chose yourself, every time you left an abusive relationship, every time you demanded more from somebody in your life, every time you spoke the truth, even when it was hard, every time you stood up to oppression, every time you took your power back and set a boundary, every time you were willing to break your own heart for the sake of the greater good. All of these actions, all of these choices, no matter how small, are so powerful. And they are freeing this planet. They have been freeing you. And in the process of freeing you, you didn't even realize that you were freeing everybody around you. And no, you're not going to get an award. You're probably not even going to be thanked by your divine masculine. Hopefully you will one day, but who knows? Or by other karmic relationships that you've had. People in your life that you've really, really changed their life without them ever letting you know, ever thanking you. You know, the course correction that occurs when somebody gets in your aura, gets in your energy, around your light. The souls that are willing are changed. They're absolutely changed. And you don't get to see it most of the time. I know for many of us, living in the 3D world is really challenging. Living amongst friends and relatives and family and people that are doing what is expected of them, what looks good, marrying someone for convenience, you know, or just because their traumas are bonding to one another because they haven't done that deeper work. So there's no way that they would actually be able to call in the true counterpart because they don't know themselves, right? So every time, or when someone decides to take a job because of the money and the security, when their passion and their calling is something else, but society applauds that. So it's hard for us because we're constantly choosing the other. We're constantly saying, I will be alone, rather than be with someone that is not my true counterpart, my true love. Or I will set this boundary with the person that is my true love because they're not showing up like that. And I know I deserve more. I will trust, I will have faith in the divine. I will know my worth above all else. And I will keep walking blindly. I will suffer through physical pain, emotional pain, and surrender and sacrifice. And so much of what is occurring right now on this plane, they're making it very aware and very clear to me that the only way Gaia has been able to ascend and that we are choosing this higher timeline for the collective is because of light workers like you, because of the work that you've done, because you were willing to look at the dark corners within your psyche, the pain, the trauma, the abuse, everything that's occurred within you, the things that you signed up for before incarnating, that you said, I will take that on. I will heal that. I will transmute that pain, because I know the family line I'm choosing to come into, if I come in and I break that cycle, the black sheep, if I come in and I break that cycle, I free that entire ancestral line. And so many of you have ancestors in the higher realms. You have ancestors that are cheering you on, that are in awe of you, like in absolute awe. So much of the emotion that I'm channeling in this video is from them, and how much they love you and adore you and honor you and see the work that you're doing, even if no one else in your life does, even if you're not getting that recognition in the place that you want it. And for many of us, you know, we don't want to struggle. We don't want to feel alone on this journey. We don't want to feel underappreciated or underacknowledged. And they keep telling me that that time is coming to an end, that your resilience has been recognized. So if any of you are sitting there in physical, emotional doubt, fear, some sort of pain that you're in right now, just know that it's not in vain. Just know that you have the strength to transmute it, to overcome it. And every time you do that, every time you make a choice in your life from love versus fear, every time you make a choice for yourself, you free and empower the rest of us. And it may be really hard to see that, especially when you look around and you still see people super asleep, super stuck in toxic relationships, jobs, lives, families, etc. Even when you see that, I promise you, you're planting seeds. I promise you shifts are occurring within them, because we're all connected. We're all one. And as you ascend, we all ascend together. I am so grateful to be here delivering these messages, to channel this beautiful like wave of unconditional love that's running through my body. I'm so grateful. And I love you guys, and I'm glad you're here and that you found me. And that's about all I can do for the day. I will be back to share some channeled collective messages soon. I know I was getting some questions recently about running and when the Divine Feminine runs, so that's something I think I'm going to share in a message soon. But otherwise, I'm sending you guys a lot of love as we move closer and closer to this 222 portal. 222. Send love to beloveds. Wow. As we move closer to this portal, continue to honor yourself even when it's so hard to do so and you feel like there's no reason to keep going. Trust me. Trust me, there is. Trust your guides. Trust your commitment, your heart. You are so loved. You are so thanked. You really, really are. And part of this journey is trusting in the higher dimensions, transcending the lower dimensions that are so weighed down in the heaviness and the pain. So we're meant to transcend that. We're meant to see beyond that. All right, I'm sending you guys a lot of love.